welcome to our inaugural conversation, Tending Lilith's Fire, with me, Kohenet Annie Matan, and my co-host, Kohenet Grenn. We're pretty excited. This is our relaunch. We've been having conversations called Priestessing the Priestesses since early spring of 2020. And we're recording today on, I don't know if we should say, on February 27th, 2021. So it's been almost a year of having these conversations, and we've been getting intentional, and we're excited to share all that with you.
And we started it as Priestessing the Priestesses, with the idea of offering self-care to those who are responsible for caring for others and holding them, and spiritual leaders. And now, as things have morphed and shifted in the culture, we want to broaden our reach and our scope and our conversations a little bit as well. And so we are starting this, as Annie said, Tending Lilith's Fire, and you will read in the description on our YouTube channel all the things that means and what energies of Lilith and powers of women we want to bring forward and raise up.
Yeah, and we thought this would be a good opportunity to tell you a bit about the origin of these conversations, not only in the sense that we wanted to do something to support those who are caring for others, but like how we came together to work on this project, and a little bit about each of us and the work we're doing in the world and how it relates to these conversations. Deborah, would you like to start us off? It was actually your idea in the first place. You get all the credit.
Thank you. So I think you get some of it too, since we're doing this. But yes, I had the idea and reached out to Annie, who I had met in 2007 when I was on the founding advisory board of the Kohenet Priestess Training Institute, and came out to speak to the first cohort of which Annie was a part, and through which she was ordained in the first group of priestesses who were ordained. A very, very exciting venture and adventure. And I always felt that you had a wonderful energy, and we have indeed hit it off in a way that I'm not sure either of us could have predicted, but we never run out of things to talk about. And we always, even if we had a subject in the beginning, we used to have particular themes we wanted to focus on, and it didn't matter, because often in our initial conversation before we started recording, we'd be off on something else that was of greater concern to us or up on our radar. And so at one point, Annie said, let's just not structure it and not plan it, but do what we have energy, for that day. And that's worked really well. So that's how we came to know each other and how we came together. We first tried this in an Instagram way, because we wanted to have live people to be able to come on to the live videos and talk with us, but we realized we couldn't save their comments. And so we decided to rather just record and then put it on Facebook in our private pages and groups. And now we are expanding and also creating, thanks to Annie and her artistry, and we'll have we have a YouTube channel. So
welcome to our new home on YouTube.
And actually, that's where we're talking from, right? So although this may still be posted on Facebook, at least in the beginning. So yes, so you wanted us to talk about our own priestessing, or?
Yeah, I feel like, so you'll notice, if you go check out the Priestessing the Priestesses videos, which if they're not up yet, they will be shortly, that for the first while, it was just the two of us, and then we started bringing on guests to talk about their priestesshood and how they're priestessing in the world right now, and how they're taking care of themselves, priestessing themselves. And we didn't have that conversation about our own work. And so we thought, well, since we're reintroducing ourselves, that this would be a good time to also share more about who we are and what we're doing in the world. And I want to say, I love that we're being very transparent about our process. I think we're both also entrepreneurs, and I really value that kind of transparency. This isn't slick and polished. We don't have a team working behind the scenes. We are the team working behind the scenes. And so what we bring you is really our authentic selves and our authentic experience. And we hope that sharing of authenticity serves our intention as well as the content, as well as the programmed content that we hope to bring.
Yeah, we hope it will be valuable as it has been for us when other people have shared from their heart and without all that, the polish. It doesn't change the intention and it doesn't change the effect, I think. So would you like to go first about what you do in your work?
Yeah, sure. I also want to say that, so when Devorah reached out to me early last year, I was like, who, me? How did this happen? How did the Devorah Grenn, the founder of the Lilith Institute, like, how did she seek me out to have these conversations? And it was really lovely because we just talked and risked, and she said, this is why, because we could do this. And we really gelled quite quickly. And I don't know, it felt like it was the shared, like she knew something that it took me a minute to catch up. And it's been such an unfolding pleasure as we've been in this ongoing conversation together.
And I just have to interrupt you to say, I think it was, as the more we talk and work together, that you were holding Lilith's fire in your belly. I think that's a piece of it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice to hear. And we both, and we share this love of Lilith. I did a thesis on Lilith in my undergrad and have always sort of felt a kinship with her. And I wrote a song about her in my early 20s. And, Devorah founded the Lilith Institute. And
did my on Lilith.
So there you go. So, and she'll tell you more about that and her work. So I feel really honored to get to be in this conversation together. And my work these days, I'm a full-time priestess, a Kohenet Hebrew priestess. And so my work is made up of, I run an online community of women called Living from the Heart, which, we gather and we really work on getting ourselves into healthy alignment. How do I want to say this? Healthy alignment in the new paradigm. So we are working with an awareness of the conditioning that we are all subject to from millennia of patriarchy and trauma. And so we make space for the realities, to just acknowledge how much of what we struggle with today is a product of that experience. And we practice together in a sacred space, the unlearning of that conditioning, so that we can show up fully as our vulnerable and powerful selves. And in Living from the Heart, we have this beautiful container where, what I hear from folks in the group is that, like, this is the place where they can feel fully authentic. This is the place where we can be fully ourselves. And the idea is that we practice here and then we bring this blossoming out into the other places in our lives. So that community is a core part of my work these days. And we also have new moon gatherings. And I work one-on-one with folks, especially those who have psychic gifts. I call it superpowers, intuitive gifts, and are wanting to bring our whole lives into alignment with our values and with and using those gifts. So I do a mentorship called Priestess Power Mentorship with those folks. And I also channel, write, share as a mouthpiece of the sacred feminine. And so I do one-off sessions or ongoing sessions for readings. And I'm a ritual facilitator. I facilitate funerals and weddings and baby welcomings and all the kinds of things that clergy get to do. I just love holding space and holding people's hands as they go through life and transitions. And I'm, particularly devoted to supporting women and folks of marginalized genders, because we have a lot of healing to do. And when we, in my work and in my experience, when we start from that place of like acknowledging that we are strong and powerful and whole, and that we're entitled to that space for healing and bravery, everything else flows from there. It's been a really beautiful evolution of my priestesshood in that space.
Beautiful.
Ibarti, I want to say, I've spoken.
I've heard. Thank you. So I am a college professor, an educator, as well as a priestess, a Kohenet, and an author. My thesis became the book Lilith's Fire, Reclaiming Our Sacred Life Force. And after going back to school as an older woman, let's say, I decided that there was nothing else to do but continue my education. I'd had a couple of years immersed in this wonderful soup of a women's spirituality master's program, which was women-centered. And the scholarship and teachers I got exposed to, and the knowledge and wisdom I couldn't replace. I couldn't find it. I had not found it before that anywhere else. And so I took 3 months off after my thesis, deciding, should I really go for my PhD? Do I really want that kind of debt? And I didn't own a house at that point, so I decided to go for it, even if it meant paying off student loans for the rest of my life, which it does, but I've never regretted the decision. And so I'm in Northern California, and just have a very different life now than I ever imagined, and one that makes me very happy. And a driving force for me too is working with women and helping women find voice. That is my organizing principle, I would have to say. And so however that happens, however that manifests, I know that it starts with me and my own connections to divinity, my own connections with other women, and whatever teachings come through those channels are what I'm able to offer. I also do spiritual guidance and mentoring, both spiritual mentoring as well as academic and career mentoring, and having an interesting time this year learning to do things like Linktree on Instagram and navigate social media in a way that I have not done before, even though I've of course had a website for many years and Facebook and all of that. But as many other folks, I am getting a bit tired of the Facebook platform. And so looking to alternatives as I start new projects. One of those is Lilith's Fire Circle program that's just launching. And I'm very excited about the synergy of all of this and the messages that keep coming through and the amount of interest that I'm getting. I think we both are getting from women who are hungry for these kinds of teachings and this kind of growth, to be able to take agency finally, and to speak out. There's a wonderful bumper sticker I once saw that said something like, speak out even if your voice trembles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is critical. So here we are with the mutual intention of doing that, changing women's lives, I think, and girls. Yeah,
that's amazing. And you have another, are you doing the anger series? Is that happening?
It's not happening now, but we just completed, Jovelyn Richards and I, a series called Emotional Archaeology, Excavating the Power of Women's Anger. And the response we got to that was really very impressive and very interesting and told us a lot. So we had some great conversations in that class, and we'll be repeating it. And I will have a number of other classes coming forward that will be advertised or promoted or mentioned, listed on the Lilith Institute website.
Yeah, so you'll see if you go to our YouTube and click on About, you can see a description of the kinds of things we're here for. What we're reclaiming in the name of Lilith. And you'll also see websites that can take you to the Lilith Institute and more of Devorah's work. And you can find my website and more about my work. And feel free to reach out, ask us any questions, and also share with us what you'd like to hear us talk about. We have some exciting ideas in the context of the new paradigm and feminism, and we want to bring forward some taboos, talk about things that maybe aren't being talked about publicly all over the place. And, I'm pretty excited for our conversations to be energized and charged and sacred, all of the things, using our voices and encouraging the voices of others. Devorah, what would you add about what we're here for?
encouraging and incorporating the voices of others maybe who come to have a conversation with us, but especially you who are out there who may want to give a comment online, and we will interact with that. And yes, we're looking forward to lively conversations, all of which are grounded in the principles and values and energies of the sacred feminine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I'll echo the please feel free to comment and share. And if you're interested in these kinds of conversations, please subscribe so that you'll get notified when new videos show up here on our channel. And, you know, we would love to have this be a place of community where we get to be enriched by each other. And even as we both facilitate in other communities that are, God is willing, soon going to return to live spaces in person, not only transcending time and space by the power of Zoom. And, you know, feel free to check out those opportunities and participate right here. We want your voices in our mix and in our midst and in the midst of us all.
And if you don't want to comment on YouTube, there's an email given that you can also write to us at info@lilithinstitute.com with any concerns, questions, topics you'd like to see us address.
Yeah. So is there anything, how would we want to close this? We didn't plan, as Devorah said. It's fun to not have a plan.
I'm just complete with the idea that this invitation to all of you to join this important conversation and to take a look at the description on our channel.
Yeah, and stay tuned for our next conversation on a topic coming soon, connected to the themes that we've raised here already. And I'll say, you know, even when we don't record, Devorah and I have this conversation offline. We're continuing our conversation almost every week. So, you know, we come to you. This is a piece that feels important to be transparent about. We share with you when we have energy, when it's in alignment for us to do so. And so, you know, I feel like that's good modeling for self-care and for priestessing ourselves. And I hope we'll have more to share with you very soon. So stay tuned.
Sometimes it's weekly and sometimes it's bi-weekly. I think it's kind of how.
Yeah. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, so tune in and subscribe, and then you'll know exactly when we're showing up.
Take care.
Right. Take care.